This morning, a lifetime of happiness has turned into a living nightmare of racism for a Conway couple.
They're fed up and now begging the city and county for help. Our Michaela Evans spoke with the couple, and Michaela, they also caught something very disturbing on camera.
Lauren, Darren, this couple is quite shaken up. Sean and Monica Williams, like many other, retired here in the Grand Strand, but they tell me they're no longer sure if it's safe for them to stay.
The end result is we do not feel comfortable.
Video of this burning cross in a neighbor's yard on Thanksgiving weekend is the last straw for Sean and Monica Williams.
Lo and behold, there was a cross burning about 8 feet away from our fence. And we were speechless because we've never experienced something like that.
The couple moved into this house in Conway as the perfect retirement home.
We love the house, we love the area.
But the Williams say their next door neighbors have made the last 2 years a nightmare.
Blatant with the N-word. He's chased off our surveyors. He's chased off people from the water and sewer department.
The couple installed a fence hoping for peace, but it did not work. The Williams finally called Horry County Police. Officers arrested 28-year-old Warden Butler and 27-year-old Alexis Hartnett for second-degree harassment. Police reports claim Hartnett yelled racial slurs at the couple, which officers' body cameras captured. The reports also show Butler posted the couple's address on Facebook, saying he was, quote, going to make them pay. Butler is no stranger to the law, with at least 5 arrests for assault and disorderly conduct. But the Williams say police arresting the couple is not enough.
They were out the next day. So now what are we to do? Still live next to a cross-burning racist? We feel threatened. We feel that not enough laws are in place to deal with this, and there needs to be some accountability.
South Carolina is one of 2 states without a hate crime law, and Williams says she does not want hate to run them out of their dream neighborhood.
We just don't want to move. We've had this conversation, and this is really a heartbreaking and hard decision for us. We're just highly disappointed that this behavior is taking place in this day and age.
There are a few cities in South Carolina that have passed hate crime ordinances or resolutions, but Conway Mayor Barbara Blaine Bellamy tells me there's nothing the city can do and that it's up to the state. Live at the Alert Desk, Michaela Evans, WMBF News.
Now to an update on the story we've been covering. The FBI is now joining a cross-burning investigation in South Carolina. You may remember a Charlotte couple with a retirement home in Myrtle Beach told WCNC Charlotte they were a target of ongoing threats, racism, and harassment from their neighbors. The latest incident, a cross was burned last month on their neighbor's property. Those neighbors were arrested and charged with harassment. Both posted bail and are awaiting trial.
So y'all just heard those news clips right there, and yes, this is South Carolina we are talking about. The same South Carolina where back in 2015, Dylan Roof went into a church, a majority black church, a predominantly historically black church at that, in Charleston, South Carolina, and took out 9 black people in one fell swoop like it was nothing, all because he wanted to kick off a race war. The same Dylan Roof who they took to Burger King to get something to eat. Yes, that Dylan Roof. And you have this situation right here where you have these 2 degenerates on here that looks like they haven't been done baking, who decided that they were going to burn a cross in their yard to intimidate their neighbor. And when I first heard about this story, I literally thought of a story that came out, I think back in 2020 in another state, where it was a PC man that did the same thing in another state, where he put a burning cross in his yard and had it facing towards his black neighbor, who I think was like across the street from him, to intimidate him. Now notice they are so cowardly that they won't actually go and actually put the cross in the yard and then set it on fire. They're setting it on fire in their yard and having it face their way just so they can actually see it. Now, you heard one of the things that they said in the, I think both clips, is that South Carolina does not, even to this day, even with what happened with Dylan Roof, still to this day does not have a hate crime bill on the books. You would think after what happened in 2015 with Dylan Roof, which is going on 10 years, it'll be 10 years in 2025, that they would have implemented that, but they still don't have one. So that, if you did not know why they did not get hit with a hate crime charge, is because South Carolina doesn't have one. Otherwise, this would be grounds for a hate crime charge. Right now, they got hit with one of what I consider to be a very low level charge. After all, they did or were able to make bail and then allowed to go back home into the same house where they were basically terrorizing the couple living across the street from them, and then was going to make it even worse for them because they called the police on them and pretty much told them about what they did. But in the second clip, it was mentioning how now the FBI has gotten involved because it's gotten that serious. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read this article that was posted on December 20th from the Mirror that says FBI raids couple who had a burning cross in the yard and yelled racial slurs at black neighbors. A couple is under FBI lockdown after it is alleged that they burned a cross in their backyard that faced their house and harassed their black neighbors. Wharton Butler, age 28, and Alexis Paige Hartnett, age 27, both of South Carolina, are accused of harassing their neighbors in the second degree by shouting slurs at them, causing them to fear for their lives. Due to allegations of racial discrimination, federal officials were at the residence of the white couple conducting a civil rights investigation. They were taken into custody on suspicion of setting up a burning cross in front of Sean and Monica Williams, a retired couple. According to her social media accounts, Hartnett of Conway is a crystal healer. However, on Thanksgiving, she is accused of using racial profanities, threatening bodily damage, and alluding having killed a black lady in the past. Butler allegedly posted Williams' address on Facebook, where he claimed to be quote-unquote summoning the devil's army to their residence. The Williamses are both veterans. Now pay attention to that. This guy literally put, and I'm talking about the man, literally put their neighbors, the black couple, address on his Facebook. I don't know about you, but wouldn't that be considered doxing? Like, you're literally telling people to come to your neighbor's home and to terrorize them. And he said he was summoning the devil's army to their residence. And this woman right here in a post said that she had alluded to having deleted a black lady in the past. You mean to tell me that there were no red flags going off for you to come out to this residence and have something be done to them? Of course, I'm just speaking rhetorically because we know they weren't going to do it, but now they're willing to make a move. Butler wrote in the post, "I'm about to make them pay. They come here on vacation to pick fights with me." On November 23rd, Monica Williams was approached by Butler regarding work that she was having done on her family home. This is when the alleged events started. The Williams said that Butler and Hartnett had entered the property to try and intercede into the work being done. Tensions increased the next evening as the couple erected a cross in their yard that faced the Williams' house. Hartnett repeatedly uttered a racial slur against the victim's family when Horry County Police and Fire Department responders showed there, as documented by police body cam footage, the warrant claims. Her statements were intended to cause the victims to fear assault, bodily injury, and/or death, according to the police. The actions of the white pair were observed by the officers to be more frequent and intimidating. Monica Williams claimed that Hartnett and Butler had repeatedly called her and her husband needs to get out of here and had used the N-word. "It's been traumatic for my whole family because they had to witness this," she stated. According to Sean Williams, they purchased their house 2 years ago as a retirement residence, but they've been subjected to continual harassment from their neighbors to the extent that they're thinking of leaving. "It's a place I'm supposed to be able to relax, but I can't relax in an environment where I have to be constantly aware. I don't want it to happen to anyone on any side of the fence. The issue of safety and security have been broken. The issue of fear and intimidation is now in play." And that is the entire article right there. This is exactly why Professor Black Truth always puts out the power to advertisement. That is exactly why. There is no way you're going to feel comfortable in trying to intimidate me and my loved ones just because you don't want me there. Like, they did all of this and now they're under an FBI lockdown, but they should be locked up, quite honestly. Why would you put them back in the house right across the street from the neighbors that are being terrorized just so they could be in? So you must want them to live in fear. Now, I guarantee you, if this wife and husband were to form up like Voltron and pull a Mr. and Mrs. Smith on these two right here, guess who would be the ones that would be held accountable? The ones that's being intimidated. They would be the ones that they would go after and say that they were wrong. And I bet you if they got arrested, they ain't letting them go back home. They gonna hold them right there in that cell until they see a judge. And they will probably get hit with a whole bunch of charges. But again, South Carolina does not have a hate crime bill on the books that could protect this couple from what they have been dealing with for what looks to be damn near a month now. Because they said this all started back in November. I think they said November 20th. So basically about a month, because I'm recording this on December 20th. And let me also add this. Look at their ages. These two are in their 20s. They are not 30 yet. Remember what I told you? People think that Dub S went away with the grandparents and the great grandparents. No, it's like a family heirloom. It gets passed down. They're literally doing what their grandparents or even great grandparents were doing to probably the loved ones of the couple. Maybe not them necessarily, but you know, people like them back in the day. This right here that you're seeing, this is what they want to go back to as a collective. This is why I keep telling you, they are their ancestors. That's why they cannot move forward. They felt like they were missing out on something. You know, they felt like their ancestors got all the fun to terrorize and torture and be harmful towards black people, and they want in on it by any means, and they don't care of the consequences that come before them as long as they have an opportunity to get their message passed one way or another. All I'm gonna say is this, and this is just one question I'm gonna ask: how are we as black people going to strike back?